what's up guys, Gons here for the Face Like the Sun YouTube channel. So I wanted to clarify what happened to the first upload of Beyonce Grammy 2017 Ritual, Beyonce channels Goddess of Water, while Oroville Dam floods. And as you can see here, the video was blocked because CBS CID claimed that I used copyrighted content, and I filed a dispute outlining the reasons why I fall under fair use, not just because the footage was limited in its use, but also because there was commentary over it. No audio of the performance was used, and it was actually a video recording of a television that was broadcasting the Grammy Awards. Nevertheless, they rejected the dispute and then blocked the video worldwide. Now, this was probably about 10 hours after I had posted it, maybe less. And in that time, I had gotten 14,000 views, or so I thought. When the video got blocked worldwide, I immediately put the video in private mode just to see what would happen. And it was really interesting because throughout the next several hours, I saw the like count, the dislike count, and the comments obviously freeze up because I had set it to private and the video was blocked. But the view count kept going up and eventually settled on 46,816 views. When the video got blocked and I put it in private, it only had 14,000 views. Now, I talked to a couple friends about this, and there's a couple different theories. One is these are the number of hits coming to a dead link, basically. Other theories are that this was actually the amount of views that I had gotten within the first 8 to 10 hours, and they blocked it because they didn't want the video to go more viral, which is an interesting theory because I posted this video fairly early. I think the Grammys had just ended or was still going on when I started uploading it. And I definitely got the video to rank in the top 3 or 4 videos when you typed in Beyonce Grammy. So I know that it was up there early and with the proper keywords to get ranked high. So it doesn't surprise me that it's possible that it got 46,000 views within the first 8 to 10 hours. But nevertheless, it got blocked. But I did re-upload it, so you can still see the video with some images edited and whatnot. You know, the thing that's really disappointing about this is that they basically are saying, nope, fair use doesn't work. We're just going to keep plowing forward here while searching for alternatives. But this actually isn't the reason why I wanted to make this video. It's been a couple days since the Grammy Awards, and I ran into this document, Yoruba Customs and Beliefs Pertaining to Twins. And the premise of this is really interesting. It goes into the Yoruba religion, which was the religion that has the goddess of which Beyonce allegedly channeled, according to all these Hollywood sources and news outlets. It says here, quote, "Twins are therefore given special names and believed to detain special preternatural powers." Now, what does preternatural mean? Beyond what is normal or natural. It's similar to the word supernatural. So I find it very bizarre that there is an actual paper that talks about twins in the Yoruba religion from Nigeria who are believed to have preternatural powers. The whole thing is very strange. And I continue here, quote, "In keeping with their refined artistic tradition, the Yoruba have produced numerous wooden statuettes called ibijis that represent the souls of deceased newborn twins and are involved in elaborate rituals. Among Yoruba traditional beliefs and lore, some twin-related themes are represented, which are also found in other parts of the world. Twins in Yoruba society. In traditional African societies, twins were considered of preternatural origin and raised emotional reactions oscillating from fear and repugnance to hope and joy, according to Leroy 1995. In ancient times, the Yoruba used to reject and even sacrifice newborn twins. Strangely enough, historical scales were tipped so that twins are nowadays not only well accepted, but welcomed, their birth being an occasion of great rejoicing. A feast will be organized for the whole community and even for neighboring villages if the twins are the children of a prominent member of the tribe. It is believed that twins are able to bestow happiness, health, and prosperity upon their family. However, since they can also bring about disaster, disease, and death, they will be treated with all due respect, loving, and care. Their upbringing is therefore far more permissive than that of other children. Stoll, 1980. The firstborn twin, whether a boy or a girl, is always called Taiwo, meaning having the first taste of the world, whereas the second is named Kehindi, meaning arriving after the other. Although being born first, Taiwo is considered as the younger twin. His senior Kehindi is supposed to send out his partner to see what the outside world looks like. As soon as Taiwo is given a signal by crying, Kehindi will follow. Kehindi is supposed to be more careful, more intelligent, and more reflective, while Taiwo is believed to be more curious and adventurous, but also more nonchalant. On the third day after the birth of twins, a visit is paid by the parents to the Babalawo, the Ifa priest of the community. Through the interpretation of the Ifa oracle, which includes no less than 1,600 sayings, he is able to drive out whatever evil spirits may threaten the newborn twins. He will dedicate the twins to the Orisha Ibeji god of twins, and if deemed necessary, will appoint for them an additional patron such as Ishu or Shango. Contrary to these latter prominent deities, the specific god of twins is a minor Orisha who is never figuratively represented. The Babalawo communicates to the mother a series of instructions on how to treat her twins, which colors they should wear or avoid, which food is recommended or prohibited, which animals are dangerous for them, etc. The powers of the Babalawo included the ability to give the order to let one of the twins starve to death if he was thought to be possessed by evil spirits that could not be exorcised. This custom is a reminder of the theme of, quote, the good and the bad twin, which is part of the mythical beliefs of many archaic tribes. Leroy, 1995. Now here's where it gets really interesting if you're someone who follows this channel and is familiar with Revelation 13 and the talk about an image of the beast, and understand what images are throughout the Bible. The Ibeji belief system, as the Yoruba believe that twins share the same combined soul, when a newborn twin dies, the life of the other is imperiled because the balance of his soul has become seriously disturbed. To counteract this danger, a special ritual is carried out. After consulting the Babalawo, an artisan will be commissioned to carve a small wooden figure as a symbolic substitute for the soul of the deceased twin. If both twins have died, 2 of these figures are made. The effigies are called Iri Ibeji, from Ibi, which means born, and Iji, which means two. Iri means sacred image. By virtue of his immortal soul hosted by his Ibeji, the departed twin remains as powerful as the living one. The Ibejis will have to be cared by the parents for later on by the surviving twin. Therefore, these figures are symbolically washed, fed, and clothed on a regular basis, and according to a popular Yoruba saying, quote, dead Ibeji expenses are expenses for the living. Corlander, 1973. According to these customs, the mother enjoys certain privileges even if both her twins have died. Stoll, 1980. The Yoruba people happen to exhibit the highest twinning rate in the world as of 1995, according to Leroy. Many Ibejis are partly covered with a crust of dried camwood powder. Very often they are decorated with metal, cowrie shell, or pearl necklaces, bracelets, and belts. The colors of these ornaments refer to deities, such as Shango or Ishu, whereas cowrie shells, which were used in the past as currency, remind the twins' power either to bestow riches or to inflict misfortune. Some ibejis were enclosed in a large coat covered with 8 rows of cowrie shells. In some regions, this design may appear as a zigzag lightning pattern in honor of the god Shango. Thompson, 1971. In this context, it is interesting to recall that worldwide, twins have been linked to thunder. Even in the Bible, Jesus Christ called the twin apostles, James and John, Boanerges, meaning sons of thunder. Yoruba religious beliefs. Within today's Yoruba religious affiliations, more than 40% of the population are allied to Islam. Less than 40% are Christians, with the remaining 20% exclusively practicing the traditional animist Yoruba religion. However, most Yoruba people belonging to the Islamic or to the Christian faith also adhere to one way or another to the traditional religious beliefs. The latter are based on the immortality of the soul and on its reincarnation, which are both essential to the Ibeji twin belief. Besides the creator Olorun or Olodumare, the Yoruba pantheon is diversified into numerous gods or orishas. The resemblance with the realm of ancient Greek mythology justifies the designation of the Yorubas as the, quote, Helenas of Africa, and that's according to Bascam 1973, Chappelle 1974, Mobelade 1971, and Thompson 1971. So here we have a direct connection to the Greek pantheon, which means we have a direct connection to the Nephilim in the Bible. Now, check this out. I'm not going to go through every single god that's listed, but here's a couple of them. Shango, god of thunder and lightning, whose emblem is the double axe. And then Ishu, the troublemaker, the magician and sorcerer, who has many faces and may behave either favorably or balefully. Ogun, god of iron and war, and anyone who works with iron. Smiths, hunters, carvers, taxi drivers, etc., is a worshipper of Ogun. That sounds very familiar to the biblical character of Tubal-Cain, who was a descendant of Cain, who forged all kinds of tools out of bronze and iron. And then there's Obatala, who is Olorun's plenipotentiary, who created the cripples while being drunk. A plenipotentiary is a person, especially a diplomatic agent, invested with full power or authority to transact business on behalf of another. In this case, Olorun is considered the creator. And if this is a depiction of Yahweh or an equivalent, notice that he is portrayed as a drunk. That's really interesting how it's all flipped coming from this perspective. Now, they also believe in reincarnation of their ancestors, and as in other African social frameworks, the Yoruba have developed select and secret religious communities endowed with strong powers based on the use of black magic and powerful drugs. The most prominent of these groups is the Ogboni organization, which in the past could even force an offer to drink a cup of deadly poison. In the very popular festival that takes place once a year, the Egungun worshippers represent the spirits of the departed by masks in order to connect the living to the dead. Other such organizations are the Gilead and Ipa societies, which are well known for their display of elaborate masks. Thompson, 1971. So given all of this, it puts the whole Beyonce thing in perspective. Having twins, channeling this goddess, Ocean. And here's what's interesting. In Cuba, a legend of the Santeria belief tells how the twins born from Oshun, the goddess of water and pregnancy, saved the god Shango. In this tradition, the god of twins is called Jimaguas and is represented by two statuettes, male and female, united by their navels and ritually used to cure the sick. Zuring, 1977. Now, did you catch that? Oshun, the goddess that Beyonce channeled in this Santeria version of the mythology, saves the god Shango. And who was Shango? God of thunder and lightning, whose emblem is the double axe, which I think biblically is Lucifer, or the Hillel ben Shakar, which means shining one, son of the dawn, as outlined in Isaiah 14, which connects to the word serpent in Genesis 3, which in the Hebrew is the word nakash, which in its adjective form means shining one. And this is something that the church needs to realize. The word serpent or snake, translated in the English, is the Hebrew nakash. It's based on an adjective that means bright or brazen, like shiny brass. And it can also mean one who practices divination. So you see how this all connects to Satan and Lucifer, which is the same character here. If you really look at Isaiah 14, the mention of Lucifer in the KJV, the original Hillel ben Shakar, and do those word studies, you'll find that it's talking about the same entity. And if you look at the god of thunder and mythology, Zeus in the Greek pantheon, which again has a direct connection to Satan. If you go to Revelation 2, verse 12, it talks about the church of Pergamum, where Satan's throne is. And what did they have in ancient Pergamum? The city had 3 temples dedicated to the worship of the Roman emperor, another for the goddess Athena, and the great altar of Zeus, the king of the Greek gods. And many scholars actually believe that this great altar of Zeus is the throne of Satan mentioned in Revelation 2, verse 12. So there's a consistency here, a direct connection to the fallen one, Lucifer, Satan, the adversary. And if that's the central core of the religious belief systems of Yoruba, then I'm sorry to say the culture might be beautiful, but if you separate that from the actual origin of the belief systems, then you will see that it comes from the fallen watchers. This is something that I had to come to grips with in my own culture, where I looked at the masks and some of the cultural references, and clearly it comes from demonic origins and the same fallen watchers, only taking on a different form. And while the craftsmanship and the artistry is a reflection of the beauty and human creativity, imagination, and productivity, we have to remember that they were expressing things that were going on in their culture, in their time, and a lot of it had to do with the oppression and control by these watchers. But for this example, clearly, Shango is an archetype of Zeus, who is an archetype of Lucifer, who is clearly in connection to the Hanakash, shining one in the Garden of Eden, the serpent. So in conclusion, superstitions and customs pertaining to twins are universal and often share converging features among cultures without any mutual geographical or temporal contact. This would point to the twin cult as one of the earliest religious beliefs that has been widely spread and diversified along human history. And in relation with their high frequency and high perinatal mortality of twins, the Yoruba have developed special beliefs and customs related to twins, and allowing in particular to ritualize the bereavement process when one or both of the twins die. So given this information that is well documented of the Yoruba customs and beliefs pertaining to twins, again, it makes the whole Beyonce thing about being pregnant with twins, getting up there, channeling the goddess Osun or Oshun, however you want to pronounce it, who in Santeria mythology saved Oshango, who is the god of thunder, who has a connection to Zeus, who has a connection to Satan. And I think we ought to be praying for the victims here, and that includes Beyonce, as far off the narrow path she might be. But mostly I pray that all of you guys realize and recognize the reality of how deep this goes and how it's irrefutable if you really do the research, that all this stuff is connected to Luciferianism, Satan worship, the whole dark side. And it just is what it is at this point. But again, we could be praying for them to come out of it, to be set free from the bondage that is this world system and these ideologies that ultimately enslave and I think do tons of damage to not just the people who are peddling this stuff, but those who consume it, not thinking there's anything wrong with it. So that's my really strange, creepy thing I found out about the whole Beyonce situation. Please give it a thumbs up if you like the video, leave a comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Have an awesome day, guys. God bless.